Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Let me introduce myself in the only way that matters. I am somebody. Let me hear you. I am somebody. I am somebody. I may be unemployed, but I am somebody. I may have walked into your country without your express written permission, but damn it, I am somebody. You cannot blame your Social Security system on the undocumented worker because you know that they do not qualify for Social Security. And like them, I am somebody. I may be a woman in this country, but you do not have the right to grab me by my crotch anytime you feel like it because I am somebody. I may be a resident of a state that didn't vote for the orange man, but he does not have the right to send his armed goons into my neighborhood to shoot my fellow citizens in the head because I am somebody. I may be a descendant of men and women buried in Arlington National Cemetery, and I demand a president who respects them and who does not think of them as losers and suckers because I am somebody. I may be the first black president, but you do not have the right to depict me as a monkey or an ape or an orangutan because damn it, I am somebody. This is what you need to understand. Because what the orange man understands is that if you are nobody, he can make you his slave. And rest assured, there is one message that this country was founded on. One message only, and it is simply this. When one man is king, all men are slaves. That is not exaggeration. That is not hyperbole. That is the truth. That is the ultimate truth of this country. When one man is king, all men are slaves, including the man who believes he is the king himself, because he is a slave to the system of his own creation, because he understands that when the monarchy is lost, justice will follow. He understands that when he is pushed out of that office, the IRS is waiting. He understands that when he loses power, retribution and vengeance and justice will follow. He understands that if he is not in power, his children have to get jobs that they're actually qualified for. When one man is king, all men are slaves. You need to understand that this country was not built for the sake purely of democracy. Democracy came about here as a result of an evolutionary process. In the 1790s, in many states, fewer than 10% of white men could vote. And since women outnumber men, that means fewer than 5% of white people could vote. And when you include the so-called Indians and Africans, that means in many states, 3 or 4% of the population could vote. That is not a functioning democracy. Democracy was not created by some elites with powdered wigs. It was created over a 200-year period by hundreds of millions of people who marched, who demonstrated, who fought, who battled, who filed charges, who went to court, who did everything possible to turn this into a functioning democracy. If the majority of your citizens are women and they cannot vote, you don't have a functioning democracy. You cannot say you had a democracy before 1920. In many states, particularly in the South, 40% of the population was African American, who before 1965, as a practical matter, could not vote. So you cannot say you had a functioning democracy before that point. But what you did have was a revolution. And you got to understand in the 1700s what a revolution is. The war is not the revolution. The revolution is the change in the mindset of the people that is so dramatic, that is so drastic, that reality can never go back to being what it had been before. What the most famous speaker of that time said to you, and perhaps the most famous words of American oratory, I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. The acceptance of that idea the elevation of that ideal, the realization of that ultimate reality. That is the revolution. And that revolution was founded on that one premise, the one premise only, the only premise that matters, and the reason you are here today, because you fully understand that when one man is king, all men are slaves. I'm going to leave you with one last piece here, because there are many people who will stand against you. Millions, perhaps even hundreds of, perhaps even, 100 million, not hundreds. But there are many who will stand against you. They are not your enemy. They are your neighbors. They are your fellow Americans. They are your church members. They are your co-workers. We do not hate. Hate cannot defeat hate. Only love can do that. Darkness cannot defeat darkness. Only light can do that. Those who stand against you for a simple reason and on a very simple foundation: fear. They are afraid of AI. They are afraid of globalization. They are afraid of changing demographics. They are afraid of the respect and the power of women. They are afraid of the power of you. They are afraid of the power of people. And we will not fight them harshly. We will not misjudge them. We will not ridicule them. We will not insult them. Because we are like them and they are like us in that we are somebody, just as they are. And we're going to come together. This ain't a black thing or a white thing or a conservative thing or a progressive thing or a red thing or a blue thing. It's a human thing. And every human being agrees with you. Because just like them, I am somebody and so are they. And so we are leaving here with humility. We are leaving here with respect, because we understand that the only way to combat fear is with unbounded and unlimited compassion. We disagree with you vehemently, and we will never bow down and we will never change. I can never be your slave, sir, because I am somebody.
Thank you.